Great.
Or for my great grandchildren, which are yet to exist. Uh-huh. And so, yeah, we haven't talked for 4 weeks or so.
Oh, I think it was 3 weeks, but yeah, it was quite some
Okay,
time.
good
But
to test. Good
you've
to.
been quite busy recently.
Oh, you've noticed my.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I love that.
Okay, so I can tell you some highlights. I can tell you some highlights, and then we can just.
Yeah,
Print.
absolutely.
Yeah, why not? So, where to begin? So, yeah, at work, I am trying to create my own process improvement sort of general consultancy to move from being associated with my consulting firm to creating my own. Obviously, I'm
Great.
now negotiating the non-competition clause because I was with a consultancy firm and they said me then obviously the normal way of things is that I can't just sort of immediately stop that contract and then sort of work with the
Yeah,
client.
right, right.
So this is the nature of the non-competition clause. So with my legal advisor, so I'm investing into this. With my legal advisor trying to come up with the best deal for both parties to try and go for win-win. They have rejected that win-win a few times, so now I'm going for the win-lose where I try to maximize my own. I have my own gain at their
Yeah,
expense. So now I don't know. I've given them a few chances, face to face, by email, by phone, and they haven't they haven't responded to that. So now I'm trying to go for my second strategy, my strategy Z, which is still a secret for the moment. But then I'm trying to get things my way.
yeah,
So
right.
so
Sounds
that is
great. So you're
wow.
building your
I
own.
don't really want to turn myself into. I still want to be a kind person, but at business and sometimes when money is involved,
Yeah,
it cannot be
yeah.
about kindness.
You can't always maintain that kind of.
Mm.
Yeah,
So and then obviously my main interest is languages. So as the same for you. And so yeah, I was thinking, hey, if I'm doing a consultancy, I might as well do a consultancy for languages. So I was like, since my philosophy in life is to copy someone else's work and do my own spin to it, I was like, hey, I quite like the polyglot workshop by Simcott and Ollie and Rolling. I was like, I may as well do my own one.
yeah.
But obviously that will just be straight copying. I always like to add my own spin to make it feel like not my own copying. So I will be doing it in the corporate world and the context will be completely corporate.
Yeah, right, right. And I think there's lots of demand for such a concept.
Yes, I believe that I am devising a curriculum for a 4 hours workshop, which I believe can dramatically improve the productivity of inter-team communication by about 20-30%. So that is my current claim, and I'm trying to back that up with various partners in the polyglot field that I cannot quite name yet. But then the idea is that yeah, I will be. I just realized because in at the beginning of September, I was just thinking of doing some sort of like audio stuff, but I was like, my aim is to be completely financial freedom in a very short space of time. No matter how many ebooks I sell, that will not make as much money that I can make in the corporate world. So I was like, let me stick with that. So that was just the realization about 1.5 weeks ago.
That's cool. I love how you are dedicated to something, and if it's not, if you realize it's not really what I want to do, then you adapt, and that's just a great way to move forward. So
So
very
in
inspiring.
it is general. The fancy word for that is pivoting. So I quite like to pivot because I feel that it's something that I really like. I try my best effort, and then in the journey, I realized that it would not actually give me what I really wanted at the beginning. So I'm pivoting. But however, some people like to let go of it. I don't. I just like to sort of systematize it and let it run in the background, and it may still bring me benefits. a few ideas that I started a few years ago. I'm still paying a very small annual overhead to keep them going, but some of them I feel that can be fruitful in a few years, although they are in the back burner. I have got many, many things in the back burner.
Yeah, right.
So if one day, if one day something happens to me, I can turn to this back burner to make sure I don't, to make sure I can still live a comfortable life. So that is my philosophy in life, to generate passive income, not necessarily passive income, but passive income sources that I can activate at any time.
Yeah, right. Sounds great.
Because if I actually have a lot of passive income, the tax implication and the accounting implication is quite. I just don't like the trouble. I mean, a small stream of income does not for me does not. It's not worth the end hours of stressing over it. So that is just
Yeah,
my
right.
philosophy in life.
Yeah, right. Cool.
And so yeah, language-wise, I'm mostly learning Lithuanian. Yeah, so yeah, let me tell you my day. You sort of maybe I don't know whether you've seen my latest Facebook reply, but yesterday was one of my happiest day. I I took I procrastinated. Well, not procrastinated. I decided not to do my other stuff, my personal project. It was sort of my self-indulgence day. So in the morning I was studying Lithuanian, mostly because I wanted to copy what's her name? I wanted to copy Sylvie Chow, the one who is the video I posted on the @ONE challenge about some French-born Chinese woman girl who has taken in many other Kai lessons. So I'm doing that. So with after 3 hours, I now have a very good appreciation of the Lithuanian grammar and vocabularies, and I've tried to play with various mnemonics techniques, and I feel that I've now a system which is fairly effective. So I will share that in the near future, i.e. today or later this week. At work, have got quite a few. I think I shared this last time. I've got quite a few colleagues from Chennai in Southeast India, in the state of Tamil Nadu. So, as the name suggests, they speak Tamil. So, do Tamil in Tamil Nadu and in Sri Lanka. So, I've just tried to play toys with that a little bit, but didn't really go very far. And then, obviously, still trying to improve my French every day. And I'm more and more motivated to study Pali recently. So Pali is a cousin of Sanskrit, let's say. And so yesterday was the morning lesson in a morning study and Etokai lesson of Lithuanian. In the afternoon, some guy messaged me. He watched one of my videos. He's like, hey, I want to do some language exchange with you. I was like, why not? So, and then that is why I decided to learn Moroccan Arabic and Arabic, just completely random. And then after that, I was listening to this Buddhist chants in Pali. So I was like, I should really learn Pali too. And then I was planning to go to Polyglot Club, which I'm sure you have heard about. It's just
I've been there. You know, it's 2 years back. I was in Paris for a few days, and I actually went there. It was great. Met a lot of great people, and you're in a very good position to be able to go there quite frequently.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a way it's over the world, but there's so many activities in the Paris one. There's something every day. I just feel it's something that I don't even have in London, being as international city it is. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are sort of for all languages, and then there's a day for Spanish, Italian, there's a day for Russian, there's a day for something else, there's a day for something else. So there's also basically I think 7 days a week. So I am spoiled. And then before leaving for the Polyglot Club, one of my new housemates who can sign in French Sign Language, he brought a friend who is deaf. So I was like, it is now time to learn a French Sign Language. So I asked them, what would they be interested? They said yes, and then I asked them what would be the rate. I was happy with the rate, and then I booked some lessons for FSL. Oh, well, it's more SSL, as long as in française, so LSF. So That will be in 2 weeks' time, so I'll prepare for that. So that will be my first serious adventure into into French Sign Language. I've toyed with British Sign Language a bit before, and just one last thing, and then I'll let sort of. I still have many highlights that I can share, but I'll let you speak as well. And so one last thing is, yeah, just sort of the intention of being financially free soon. It's really changed my life, really, my perspective. For example, on Saturday, because I'm so open about my intention on Facebook when I talk to people, it is like literally when I talk to every single person. If there is a single being who's moving, I'll talk about my goals, I'll talk about my intentions, I'll talk about my favorite technologies, PowerShell. So basically, even if there's a dog barking along, I would say PowerShell, thank you, Kaizen. So because of this philosophy, because of this attitude of mine, or this idiosyncrasy of mine. So I find that, hey, you should talk to this CEO. I was like, okay. So on Friday night, it was the housewarming party for my new flatmate. Everyone was dancing and drinking and doing other things. I was talking to this guy about how to learn languages, about how to improve team processes, about how to improve inter-team communication. And then I have got now the contact of this guy, and he's given me some very powerful insight into his philosophy into management. I was sharing about one of my favorite podcasts, 5 a.m. Miracle, and then asked him what time he wakes up. He told me that he wakes up at 5:30 already, so there's nothing much for him to learn. And then he basically he has his day optimized until 11 p.m., which is sort of a bit over the top to me, but he has also got very a side of him which is very spiritual. He somehow manages all the stress from that. So it's sort of one of the lifestyle that I strive for. Not really, but it's just something that really admire that, but I feel that I can optimize that to not so much to spend all the time working.
Yeah,
and then
right.
a lot of things that I admire him, a lot of insights of how his management insight, his process management insight. So much I can have learned from him. So that was actually the highlights of my house party. While drinking, I don't know what I was drinking. I forgot what I was drinking. But so that was the highlights. There were a few things, but I will let you speak. What has changed in your life, in your school, in your mud racing, in your coaching?
I actually had to cancel the mud race because we had games with my, I'm a youth coach at local football club, and we had games, so I had to cancel that. But I'll I had lots of friends going there, so they told me lots of great stuff. So next year I'm going to make sure I don't have a game on that very day. Well, what has changed my life is basically, I told you about reading Tony Robbins, and I'm slowly going through the book because there's so much to try to adapt.
Which one?
Awaken the Giant Within.
Okay. You said the one before, After Unlimited Power. I always forget.
It is after Unlimited Power. I think Unlimited Power was one of the first books he wrote.
But anyway,
I do recall him mentioning unlimited power, which implies that it had been a previous book. So I've come across the power of questions, and there's just what I love about it. I mean, his approach. I get his meaning, and he's always providing something that you can do immediately, and that has a major impact, honestly. So what I'm currently doing the power questions, 5 power questions for the morning, and a few for the evening. Just questions that let you reflect on the day, like what am I happy about in my life? What am I grateful for? So all these, I've come across concepts like that, of course, gratitude and doing affirmations, etc. But this is something that really I gain so much focus. So basically, my happiness overall has improved significantly by just asking these questions. Of course, maintaining my routine. So the last 2 weeks, I was on holiday, so there was no school, which was good for me to really try to establish my routines firmly. I told you about the cello, and I've taken the cello into the Level Up Challenge, and I'm about to. So this week I'm going to going to publish a video with me playing the cello. So yeah, all these things I try to maintain, establish, or strengthen their hold in my life. And these questions, they've helped me a lot. They generate so much momentum. I'm generally looking forward to things. Now I can't see you. There. Yeah, right. It's exactly these 5 questions. You know, it's perfect. It's really perfect. It's something that even sometimes when I wake up and I'm not feeling too energized, and of course that happens sometimes, but it's I feel it's happening less and less frequently. So in general, I wake up and I'm rather refreshed. And the power question are about the third thing that I do after drinking some water and going out on the balcony, doing some breathing exercises. I usually go back to my room and just ask me these questions. And, you know, it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes sometimes to go through them, because what I like about this is something like, what am I proud about in my life, or what am I most grateful about my life? These things I always try to answer them thoroughly, so that I keep reminding myself of these important things, and that's very powerful. So after these, I'm really feeling energized, and because one of the last questions is, what am I committed to in my life? I feel this, you know, this dedication. I'm dedicated. I'm reminding myself of what I'm committed to, and I go out there to do this. So my distractions, and of course we're all struggling with distractions and social media, etc. But it has less of an impact, and sometimes I may get distracted, but I have my commitment. I have these things I'm dedicated to. I have them I have them firmly etched upon my memory. So that's something that's really changed my life. And it's been 2 weeks, I think, now since I've started doing them on a daily basis. And yeah, I can't wait to go on reading the book, because I've not been doing too much reading lately.
I'm really curious about, do you have any mnemonics to remember these 7 questions, or do you look at it?
Well, I mean, I'm doing them every day, so I do recall them. I still like the visual presentation of them. So I usually I have a pin board in my room, and I printed them out there, because I just like, I don't know, I like to look at them and to really ponder about that. So I do keep a visual representation. It's not something I do from memory. It's just something I feel comfortable with.
Shall we do a live? Well, shall we do a live mutual? Shall we do a live session of the 7 power questions? Then have we done it this morning yet?
I have, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so if you don't mind, you can coach me from your 2 weeks of experience. Okay.
Oh well, the thing is, you know, there are things that make you happy. There are things that you're excited about, and for example, I told you, or I posted, that I recently bought 2 cellos actually, because I couldn't decide. One of them is a carbon-made cello, and this is of course something I'm very excited about, to explore the depth of the sound and the characteristics, the particularities, the peculiarities of the sound of each of the cellos. But there are so many more things that I'm excited about in life. I'm excited about, you know, I'm singing every day, and you know, to see what the voice can do, and to actually feel that feeling when you're singing. It's so empowering, and I like that he doesn't only say, what are you most excited about in my life, but I always ask myself, well, how does it make me feel? And sometimes it makes me feel powerful. Sometimes it makes me feel very strong, or whatever it is. I like that there are so many notions that you can use to properly and to accurately define your feelings, and thus give you so much momentum and so much ability to move forward. And I find one of the most important ones, the grateful one. They're all important. They're equally important. But being grateful, because sometimes when things are really working well, when I'm content and when things are going my way, I tend to forget about being grateful. And I don't want to turn into an arrogant sob just because some things in my life are running because I'm happy or something. I want to always and I like that when I'm doing the grateful stuff, I'm sometimes I'm reminding myself that I should be grateful for things that I consider so basic and so they seem to be so normal. Like, I mean, I have a flat, I don't have to sleep outside. I live in a country where there is peace. I'm in little danger of being the victim of a crime, etc. So there are so many things that you can be grateful for, and I have lots of food available for me, so I won't. I'm not running the danger of starving, etc. So many things, and I have wonderful people around me. I'm meeting wonderful people through the language community, etc. So there are so many things, and the kind of the dedication. Yeah.
Okay, so if you don't mind, let me try this. I'm sure I've gone through this a few years ago, but I haven't done it for years. So let me just try it to anchor this habit into my life, maybe. Okay, so here is the mnemonics that I just come up with. Be happy about, I don't know what does this mean. Okay, be happy about great electronics and be clear about goals. And this is just a completely random mnemonics that I just came up with in less than 1 minute. So this is happiness. I forgot what was it. So is happiness, excitement, proud, gratitude, enjoy, committed, love, and then for each one is what about, and then how. Am I right?
Yeah, it's pretty much that. Yeah.
So what am I most happy about? Let's try a collective one. I don't think you haven't done it yourself. So what am I? Let's see. Do we feel even more happiness? Actually, what I'm looking for is someone with whom I can share this practice with.
Yeah, it's great. I think these questions are extremely powerful, particularly if they're done in a group or with just two people, and
maybe we can start a new. You know what? Maybe we can start a new Facebook group and sort of monetize it. Just so-called powerful question Facebook group.
Oh, I'm not sure. I prefer to happiness and money. I don't know. I'd rather just share it with friends because I think it's a very helpful thing.
Okay.
So Benson, what are you happy about in your life?
Oh yeah, so you can ask me the questions and I can answer. What am I happy about? So yeah, my language learning journey, my business adventure and fantasy adventure, and I'm just generally excited. I'm just genuinely happy about life, and I've also got a way to relax. So I think I'm very happy in the last couple of months.
Great. When I told you it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to go through them roughly. So when I'm trying to remind myself of what I'm happy about, I really try to go into details. And of course, it varies. For example, yesterday we had a little Halloween football tournament with my youth squad, and this is, for example, something that made me happy that I'm lucky enough to be able to be with young people professionally as a teacher and with as a hobby with young football enthusiasts, and that was what it was, of course. And of course, we were dressed up. So I was a skeleton with an afro wig. It was quite funny. So this made me really happy because you can see the joy. You know, there's little that makes me more happy than seeing joyful children. You know, there's maybe cats can make me equally happy, but you know, the children all around you, they're happy, they're committed, they want to play football well, they want to try to do what the coach says, and the interaction with the parents. I love it, you know, and I love that I can give so much there, but I'm also receiving and learning tremendously. So I'm extremely happy that I'm a musician, that I can play the cello, that I can play the piano, that I sing every day. You know, the voice as the most intimate of all the instruments, when you can actually feel the sound flow through your body, and I love that. It's fantastic. You know, I have this online coach. His name is Per Bristow. He's a Norwegian. He was a former musical star, and he's such a great teacher. So I've never met him in person. I'm doing video lessons, and one day I do want to do a one-on-one session. But it's so effective. I've been trained in classical singing, so in opera singing, but there was always there were so many problems that I encountered with the voice. And this guy, he freed me. And you know, feeling that the voice soar, or feeling the voice just doing what he wanted to do, and that kind of feeling is so great. So these are just 2-3 things that I'm happy about. My list when I'm doing this on my own sometimes goes on for a lot longer. On other days, when it's difficult to really feel what am I happy about, then I imagine, okay, what could make me happy, and then I always find lots of things. Okay, so happiness. Let's lead over to excitement. I can already tell that you're very excited about many things because you told me so. So what are you excited about, Benson?
Yeah, so in short, so I'm excited about my languages, my business adventures, and the unlimited power. So, well, there's
Yeah.
the unlimited potential. And I genuinely believe that what the ultimate things which make me ultimately happy is to realize the potential of myself and people around me and my country and the world and the universe. And what would excite me even further is that I can be a change agent which can contribute to unleashing the power. I'm trying to use as many words from this book. It doesn't work. To unleash the potential of to become. Okay, let me try and okay. I want to. What will make me excited is to be the change agent to unleash the potential of me and everything in the universe. That's very hippie.
And that's something to be quite excited about. I think you're doing a great job, and it's lovely. You know, excitement can propel you forward, and of course, if you are excited and you share it with others, they will be excited, or some of them will be excited as well. So that's I love that. And, you know, this is what I love about these questions. They do lead somewhere. There is happiness, there is excitement, and later comes commitment. And I can use all the happiness and the excitement to pour into my commitment. So in your case, you might say you're committed to unleashing the power and to being a change agent. I like that phrase. And yeah, so this just to show how in 15 or 20 minutes, or I mean, even if you take 5 minutes every day, you can do so much. And I also like the evening questions, where you just sort of reflect and see how does this all fit into the bigger picture of my perspective, or of my of what I want to do in my life. You know, when you look back, at the end of the day, you ask yourself 3 questions, only 3. You can go through the morning questions again, but it's usually what have I given today? A very important thing. And let's say in the first few days, sometimes it was difficult. What do you give? Oh, today I've not done anything special. But you always give, and there's always, interaction. Me being a teacher, of course, I'm always giving and inspiration. So in your case, you can say, well, I talked to somebody and I gave them inspiration, or I motivated them, and they something like that. And second one is, what did I learn today? And well, learning is such a broad and general term, so it can be emotional learning, of course. I sometimes say, well, today I learned to control my temper in certain situations where I was, or I learned to look out for myself when I did some relaxation exercise, etc. There are so many things to learn, and sometimes you can just say, well, I learned to have a good conversation in Italian or in Lithuanian or whatever language you're learning with somebody. The final one is, how does this, I can't phrase it perfectly, how does this fit into, or how has this contributed to my vision of my vision of my life?
So can you share? So let's do it together. So what did you learn yesterday?
Yesterday, okay. Yesterday, I let's start with what have I given? That's the first one. First, you focus on giving.
What did you give yesterday?
Okay. Yesterday we had this tournament, so I gave a lot of inspiration, confidence to all the children. You know, I had two teams, so I was very busy. Two teams, because they were playing all the time. There was no break really for me. I was giving them inspiration. I was trying to make them strong, to focus on their strengths, and to you know, we were losing a lot, so we're not a good team yet. We're at the beginning, so there are lots of things that aren't really running as well as they may be in a year. So I've given them a lot of confidence. I've given them the feeling, hey, I'm being loved. I can make mistakes. I've given them a lot of confidence and security, and to the parents as well. I've given them a lot of trust. They know they can rely on me, and that I'm genuinely positive about things I'm doing. And I'm also giving the children lots of discipline, because there is a firm set of rules, and I'm usually very gentle with them, but when it comes to rules and breaking of them, I'm also very well, there are consequences, of course. So yeah, I've given a lot, and I've of course I've given my girlfriend by being around, by being loving, and by just having a lot of patience and acceptance. Then I made a Facebook post recently about freeletics, and in the freeletics community, I told you about freeletics. I think it's a sports program, very intense workouts. So I'm frequently trying to motivate my fellow sports enthusiasts to not give up when you're feeling down, because we all have our ups and downs. And of course in Italian, I had a conversation with a new Italian tutor. It was very fantastic. And of course, one might think when you're having a lesson, you're on the receiving end, but I think you're always giving. Even if you're a student, you're always giving, and you're telling you. Leslie, the tutor that I was talking to, was absolutely fascinated by some of the things I told her, as was I by some of the things. We were talking about morning routines, by the way. As part of the project, being fluent in one topic, I picked morning routines, and I've now had 5 conversations about this, so I'm really getting fluent in that. So yeah, lots of things.
Did you find the Italian translation of these questions, by the way?
Of these questions, yes, I could do them, but I prefer them in English. You know, I love English. It's also a foreign language for me, so I'm not too fussed of making everything Italian, because there's lots of languages going on. So yeah, I could, and I've done that. So I translated some of the languages in the conversation. Of course, that was part of the becoming fluent there. But I'm not doing them in Italian. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Okay. Yeah.
So, and then for me, what did I give? Yeah, just inspired from how you have given. So Not sure this music is this. Okay, let me try. Let me try if this doesn't work, we'll change it. Just a new experiment. This is supposed to be some sort of concentration. Oops,
Okay.
concentration music. Okay. And then now I've got an alarm. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so what have I given? So in the morning, so I was giving my Lithuanian lesson and my learning, but I was helping my Lithuanian teacher about some JavaScript questions, which is obviously not Lithuanian, although there may be some parallel between JavaScript and Lithuanian. So that was just something that I completely offered for free and out of kindness, and obviously I always like to help other people to learn. I like JavaScript. What else? And the afternoon, it was an exchange, so I did try to inspire my new Moroccan friend Abdella about learning languages and my strategies. I was sharing my strategies with him, so that was a gift in a way. And I have been struggling with cleaning my rooms. I decided to pivot. I decided to pay someone. So I fixed an appointment. I make a phone call. She should be coming in just in about an hour. So it's a gift. I'm creating jobs because I'm paying. It's given in a way. And then the dev friend, I've given the proposal. This is French. Back to English. I suggested that we have lessons together. So I'm paying him as well. So that is gift. And then I went to the Polyglot Club. I was talking. It was language exchange in a way. So it was a gift in a way. And
Yeah,
I was
cool.
helping other people practice Cantonese and other languages. So that was a gift. And then after I came back, nothing much. So yeah, so in a way, you're right. I mean, every single interaction, there is an element of giving, and focusing on that does make us feel better.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. And, having done this for 2 weeks in a row, I feel that, now, in the beginning, it was very difficult to find things. Okay, what have I given? Because we consider so many things, well, normal, okay, and for granted. We take it for granted, and that we're giving, that we're receiving. But now I can really, now it really takes a long time to sum up all the things that I've given, and that makes you feel great. Wow, I've given so much, and this kind of focus, I love that. And the other thing about learning, of course, when you're giving, you're always learning, and I like to answer this not only with an intellectual focus. So what have I learned in terms of new grammatical structures, or improve my pronunciation or whatever, but also, I told you about the youth tournament yesterday. I learned a lot, of course, there. I learned a lot about football tactics. I learned a lot about how people react to my commands, or what I want them to do on the field. But mostly I learned a lot on an emotional level, and how to really get them working as a group. And I learned that I can absolutely, I mean, I wasn't feeling energetic beforehand, and I was thinking, well, it would really be nice to have a Saturday off, because I sometimes just have too many things running at the same time. But I learned that I can absolutely get myself into this great mood again, because I was absolutely feeling fantastic after the tournament, despite running in the last two places. I had two teams, and we made the two last places. So we didn't even win a single game, and one of my teams didn't even score a single goal. But despite that, there was a lot that I learned about this, and on the level of human interaction. I had a 1-hour conversation in Italian where I learned a lot, not only in Italian, but just about what I can do. You were talking about limits, and I love how you phrased this, that you see there is so much you can do, and yeah, this kind of learning to go beyond limits, or to just let go of them, of the limits that you impose upon yourself, because that's what I quite frequently do otherwise.
One of my favorite quotes from my long time friend Peter Musambi. It was one of the quotes from the level of challenge is like, oh, learning from Benson, and now realizes the sky is no longer the limit. It's just about which sky we are looking up at. I think that's actually true.
Yeah, right.
Is the sky is really no longer the limit after Armstrong thinking about it. So the space is the limit, and as we know, the space is really unlimited. So it's really, really unlimited potential.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I love that. And it's easy. It's easy to say that, but I think you're much further down the road there as I am, because I feel all these limitations that we pick up in our youth or that we impose upon ourselves, they're so strong. They're so firmly established. I know they are with me, and when I hear you, it inspires me because you're already taking giant leaps from my perspective. That's giant leaps that you're taking. I'm taking it a bit slower, but I'm also moving into the general direction of no limits. Let's
Can I
put it
can
like
I
that.
ask you for a favor? Can you help me change my limiting beliefs about my own fitness? Because you are a coach in football,
Yeah.
after all, for you. One of my limiting beliefs is that I just cannot achieve a very high level of fitness because I've never really been very fit in my entire life. How can I overcome that? How can I overcome?
Well, in general, there is no limit. And the thing is, this is just you've built so many habits, Benson. You have built so many habits, and this is just one other habit, and it will work if you just build it, and if you start it. Just look at, there are so many motivational videos out there of people who've transformed their lives by becoming fit, and there were so many people who have never done sports before on a regular basis, people who just felt, oh, I'm sloppy in this, and all the others. I mean, this is something that you soak up quite well, that people tell you you're not fit and you're never going to be. You can, absolutely. I'm in a group with people, some of them have done sports before and others haven't. And the thing is, with freeletics, for example, it's hard, it's tough for everyone, regardless of your fitness level. It's just hard, but if you persevere, the result is enormous. And what makes you think that your kind of discipline, your kind of dedication, your kind of habit creation that you have already applied to your life, that you have done, what makes you think that you can't do this with just doing some fitness?
You're right. Actually, I don't believe that.
Yeah, there is nothing. I mean, it's just a
59
habit.
seconds to frame it. Yeah, it's just a habit. It's just a habit. I know how to create a habit. I know how to maintain a habit. I have got a wonderful community on Level Up and Facebook, and
Absolutely.
so there is
So
absolutely no reason.
no, absolutely. So I think you only need to, you surround yourself with people, for example, with the Level Up Challenge, with the At One Challenge, who inspire you in this. So all you need is basically a little group of fitness enthusiasts or people who were struggling or something, people who keep you motivated. So, I mean, there are a few people. There's one guy in the Level Up Challenge who's doing fitness, who wants to do a regular create a regular fitness routine.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So,
There's two people who want to do that. So there's Richard Levine, who has got the
right,
name
Richard.
Richard Levine, who has got the name in Korean. The guy.
Yeah, right. This is why I said the guy, because I couldn't. I don't speak, nor do I read Korean. So
Yeah.
couldn't.
Yeah, no, he's actually my friend in Paris. By a friend, I do actually see him a couple of times a week sometimes.
Cool. So I mean, well, why not just start working out together or doing some? I mean, just starting by taking regular walks and doing a few exercises every day is already something. And
I think you have given me I think you have reminded me the key, just the building of daily habits. At some stage, I was doing exercise daily, doing dumbbells daily. I was running almost daily. I was eating very healthily, but I did learn a lesson. I didn't. I know it sounds very stupid, but I didn't. I somehow refused to do warm up and warm down, and I did pay for the consequence. And my feet was in pain for a few days, and then I ignored that, and then it has been weeks, and then I went to see my doctor. He was like, dude, it's just do warm up and warm down. So basically, he said that there's nothing wrong with your feet. There's nothing wrong with you. No injuries whatsoever. You just need to warm up and warm down.
Right.
So that's it. So that has been.
And the other thing is that people, I mean, you say, oh, I'm not fit and I have a problem with that. And the thing is that most people who consider themselves not fit or not sportive, they think that for sportive people or people they consider sportive and active, that it's easy, but it isn't. It is a regular effort. Of course, once the habit is somewhat built, it is somewhat resistant, but I have now built the habit. I'm exercising daily, and these exercises are really intense, and I love that. But I have struggled, of course, and I will struggle again now that it's winter, or it's getting winter, and of course it's more difficult to move outside. And okay, it's getting dark, and it's so cozy and comfy on my armchair, just reading a book or doing something else, or just lounging about.
I'll be back in 10 seconds. Sorry, excuse me.
It's okay. So I can grab a drink as well.
Oops. Hello. Hi, I'm back when you are.
So back as well.
Okay, yes, I was just inspired to actually do exercise while I actually talk with you as well. So one stone, two birds. So I was thinking of a way of integrating exercise into my day. So I bought this weight pad for my forearm. So in the last, they've been sitting there next to my bed for many days. So taking actions from inspiration is obviously the key to, I need another option.
Absolutely.
Taking actions from inspiration, one of the option is
absolutely.
Okay.
I've struggled for years with exactly that. I've of so many problems in my life. I have been intellectually aware, but I never really knew how to put this into action.
Okay, so we are both quite excited about this conversation, but mindful of time. So let's just go through the last two questions, and then we will then sort of change. So many things we can talk about, but going by the 80-20 rules, we can come up. We can agree on a topic that we both like talk about, and we can sort of both learn.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
great.
It's very weird, but so is life. Hang on, actually. So okay, so quickly. So it was about the what have I given? What have I learned? And what's the last one?
Yeah. What have I learned? And this is in general. And I mean, you already told me a lot what you've learned. And
what was the last question?
And the last question is, it's basically how does this all fit into the overall picture? Let me just read it. Wait a minute, because how has today added to the quality of my life?
How has today
added to the quality of my life, or how can I consider today as an investment to my future or to the future?
Okay, so how does today fit into the bigger scheme of things, so to say?
Yeah, right. And we're back to commitment and your story or your vision of your life.
So yesterday, it was very language oriented. So it was sort of my day of treating myself, because it's what gives me the most happiness after all. Yeah, just it's a lie, but it's actually quite funny. I'll not say so loudly. Well, I was putting my other beer in. A couple next door was having fun. I was still completely focused on pronouncing the
Great. That's dedication.
So for me, that was actually more fun. But anyway, my girlfriend is not here. Anyway, so that was a complete digression. Hang on, I don't know what I was talking about. Anyway, back to.
Yeah, great. I mean, Initially, or at the start of our conversation, you already told me a lot of things, and how basically that day was something like a model day, or a very good day. So of course you can take this day and say, well, this is with this kind of day, I'm building my dream life, and this is what I'm doing. So every day, all these life coaches keep telling you that every day matters and everything matters, and we're building our life through these daily routines, and we build upon them. We build upon them, and that's what I like about this question. I mean, yesterday, just like you, I was doing a lot of things that I love doing. Like I had a 1 hour conversation with an Italian tutor. She was new. I didn't know her, so it was ideal on several levels. I was learning something intellectually, Italian language. I was meeting a new person. I told her about me. I asked her about herself, and there was so many things about that I like doing, and so many things about that I consider part of an ideal day, to have a genuine interaction with somebody. And of course, playing football. I love football, so I was doing something that I love. I love teaching, so I was doing something that I love. So basically, that is something that I can build on, that I can build upon.
Okay, so let me ask you the Benson question beyond the Tony Robbins one. So you've got the 3 questions, so your life is already great, but how could you have made yesterday even better? So this is a question from the 5-minute journal.
Oh, right. Well, for one thing, I could have started the day before by going to bed earlier, because contrary to my routine, I went to bed past midnight, which is a very rare thing for me. So I had to sleep a bit longer. I wasn't really fit, and that means I was a bit stressed about these things. Then I should have, or I could have. No, I could have.
You could have chosen. Okay, let's use the Tony Robbins language.
Yeah, I could have chosen I could have chosen to focus on a few things on my task list, and to actually get rid of them. And he says, do the most important things first. And that is what successful people do. Do the things that I consider the most important things, the things that can potentially cause the most stress. So basically, that is the most important, because if I don't do them, it means stress for me, and it means unhappiness, or something. Well, they're clogging up my happiness, so to speak. So I could have done that. There were 1 or 2 things that I could have done, and of course, for some reason, I didn't find the time to play the cello yesterday, as a first day in 3 weeks when I got my new cello, and started with a lot of enthusiasm. But on the other hand, I'm not. Going back to what have I learned? I've learned that, okay, this was one day of an A. I didn't play the cello, but I know today it's going to be a yay again. So
yes, yes.
Yeah. So that's
absolutely. So so for me, what could have? I think this is the missing element in this one. What could have made yesterday even better? There was something that I procrastinated. I shouldn't really be learning Arabic. I should have been playing for my Eurostar tickets. Then because each day that I procrastinate, the higher the price goes by like a few euros. So I should have done that.
I hear you.
I should have done that yesterday, and I could have learned Arabic today. But it's sometimes about sequence as well. Sometimes it's delayed gratification, really. Although learning Arabic was more fun than booking tickets. But then I should have done it. No, I could have chosen. Okay, it's very disempowering. I could have chosen to. Okay, let me use the Tony Robbins format. I could have chosen to pay to book my Eurostar instead, in order to optimize my financial spending. That is an empowering way to say it, as per Tony Robbins.
Yeah, right. It is.
We should eliminate the word should.
Absolutely, yeah, great. I mean,
Okay.
and thanks for giving me that impulse. Yeah, I love that. I love how Tony Robbins also focuses on language in general, because I found out that I'm
Mm,
using, you know, I consider myself a positive person, an optimist, etc. But he showed me that in fact I'm using a lot of negative language, um, and it's quite fascinating to notice such patterns, and that I'm quite frequently negative about things. And that came as quite a surprise. And his way of
mm,
changing the vocabulary by being, for example, a bit peeved about
mm.
things, and instead of totally pissed off, etc. You're making such a difference. But I
Yep.
feel,
Mm. So, okay, so we have optimized mindful of time. Mindfulness is also a very important habit to develop. Shall we, what do you think is the ideal frequency? Every 3 weeks? I think it works quite well for
I think it
us.
works quite well. Yeah, let me
I
check
think
my.
it feels less than a month, but every weeks or 2 weeks it's a bit too frequent. We don't.
Yeah,
It's not so much to talk about sometimes. Okay,
yeah,
and then
and
we can sort
don't
of
want to end up overwhelmed.
we can live a life. We can live a life in a way so that we have got something positive to share and to inspire the other person.
Yeah,
So
right. Um, so the first weekend that would work for me. Oh, I have concerts coming up, so I'm rather busy these next weekends.
okay, then
14.
I can tell. Okay. So the 28th would be quite good. No, 29th. Are you free that weekend, or we can move it a few weeks
Yeah, the
ahead?
29th is okay. 29th.
Okay,
Um,
so that would be in 4 weeks. That's almost a month, but okay, let me put you there. Otherwise, I will forget. Okay, so shall we stick with the same time? I think it's a good time. Then before this session, you could
yeah,
have gone
just can
through
you?
your
Yeah.
morning routine, and you could also do your power questions, and you should eat that frog first before the frog, as in obviously uh, in in Brian Tracy's term. Okay, I should have your email, but
Yeah,
now
you do. You can send me a Google Calendar invite. I've
I
now
will.
changed phones. I'm now on Android, which makes it a lot easier to just incorporate all these Google things
Okay,
like
all
Google
right.
Calendar.
So in the last 2 minutes, what have you learned in this lesson? What do you want to share? What did you? Okay, this is the most part from listening to the podcast. This is my favorite podcast question. Although this is not a podcast, but then what questions would you have liked me to ask you that we
What
didn't cover?
questions
Or what subject would you like have to have shared? Or what ideas would you like to have shared?
for next time we talk? Um,
For this one, or for we've still got 2 minutes. You can still
it's
share.
2 minutes. Oh, uh, uh, I wouldn't know.
Okay. So for me, I quite like to get to know you better. Actually, I mean, I want to pick your brain on your teaching philosophy, on your coaching philosophy, coaching as in coaching the kids. What makes a good coach? What makes a good teacher? And I want to pick your
Oh
brain
yeah.
on fitness, on your various sports, as well as cello, classical singing, the artistic side of life that you're doing more than me.
Yeah, right.
There's so many things I want to pick your brain. So maybe, and then
Okay.
I actually want to get
Now I
to know
get your
you better.
question. Okay, now I get your question. I think I got it wrong in the first place. Well, then let's have a complimentary session next time, because you're talking about the corporate world, which is something that, for one thing, I have no contact with whatsoever. So I find it quite fascinating. So I want I would ask you loads of things about that, and about all your intentions about the passive income. I've come across some of the new. I remember having newsletters on that as well, and all the expats telling you what to do and how to live in a dream country and have a passive income stream. I'm quite interested to see what kind of vision you have there. So we can have complementary conversation. We're talking about what we don't have so much contact with in our lives. So, and of course, you know, you do a lot of things that I've always dreamed of. Like you've moved to London, you've moved to Paris, so you're living abroad, okay, and for a long time in a different culture. I mean, you have a very different cultural background, but you grew up in this culture, so that is something that I find quite fascinating, because I've always dreamed of moving somewhere, and I've never lived anywhere but Germany. So yeah, tell me about your cosmopolitan background, basically.
Okay, so my new mission is to inspire you to take the action to actually go for it. Okay, so until until next time, as Tony Robbins says, live with passion. I actually forgot which program this is. But,
all of his programs. So I will, and I hope you will. Was absolutely, I loved to talk to you. So see you around next time. And
I'm actually, so if you don't mind me just hijacking 1 more minute of your life. So
1 more minute of my life.
1 more minute. So since today is the 1st of October. No, November 2015. So I will share my goal publicly. Well, this is the video recorded for this month. So in terms of weight loss, in terms of fitness, I want to lose 2 kilos this month. I want to achieve my goal of 78 kilograms or less. I want to be more regular in terms of my weight exercise. And then in terms of, I feel something that I've been struggling with for a long time is my throat. I've got sort of a cough sort of thing. I realized that just drinking a lot of water, especially in this in the sports water bottle sort of way, it encourages me to drink water. I don't know, I quite like listening to the sound of sucking the water. Maybe it's just my fixation on that. But beside that, so that is number one. In terms of languages, I want to focus on Lithuanian because I just wanted to focus on something. And then in terms of my business, I want to actually have something concrete, legally signed by the end of this month. If not, I'll go for my plan Y, which I will share next time. And then in terms of my spiritual life, I want to deepen my meditation practice. I just want to do it more regularly because I noticed the ginormous benefit it gives me, especially when I have about 50 goals in my checking spreadsheets. It does stress me out.
I hear you.
So and then these are my goals. These are all recorded, so you will live for prosperity. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I don't even speak English anymore. So okay, so now I would like you to also share top 1 or top 3 goals for November 2015.
Okay, just like you, there are so many things going on, and I just want to continue my my long list of things that I want to do. I want to keep the momentum going with my daily routines, but I want to focus on my still biggest weakness. That is number 1, and that is doing the things that count first.
Yes.
Okay. So top list, and that is what I'm going to do. Every day I will set aside 10 minutes or so where I use Trello for organizing my tasks. I usually sort it according to preference, or no, not preference, to priority. And I really want to do this every day. This is the one missing piece that I find is tremendously important, and I keep procrastinating on that.
Okay, you know what? Can I suggest the last thing, and then we'll end this? What I will do, I will share. Let's create a Trello list for this particular purpose. So I don't know how we will go about it, but let's somehow have a daily goal list of doing things that matter, and then we can somehow work out a way to integrate into our lives. I don't know how I've done this in myself. I used to use Trello too, so I know what it's about, and I'm heavily into Kanban and Kaizen and Lean, etc. So after this phone call, I'll also send you a phone invitation to a Trello board that I feel that can exactly help you with this.
Oh, cool.
It's not let's challenge. Let's say.
Yeah, right. It's
Me
a
as well.
challenge, because
Okay.
I feel this can make a huge difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So until next time, live with passion, and we will see each other on Trello.
Okay. Absolutely. Bye, Benson.
Bye.